Excellent. Tremendous. Tremendous. Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, Australia's juiciest gaming podcast. I am your host for the week, James Wood, and tonight I am joined by Zach Jackson.
Hello.
Adam Ryan.
Hello, that's me.
Nathan Hennessy.
How do you do?
Well, thanks, mate. And returning, Kieron Verbruge.
Hello.
Hi. We have got a pretty streamlined show tonight. Is the Game Awards Blowout, obviously a fair bit to catch up on from the big Keighley event. We have a little bit of news to go through as well, but we will get there. Instead, I want to kick off. Kieron, welcome back. How are you?
I am normal. Thank you.
Tremendous. Great episode, everybody.
Loving the well-played artwork in the back there. Can you just explain what that is for the people viewing? For those listening,
do you want me to do
there's a digital. How would you explain this? There's a light with a well-played logo in the
display.
Thing. What is it again?
Do you want me to do the absolutely non-sponsored product placement?
Absolutely, yeah, just do it.
It's the Govy Curtain Lights 2 is the name of this. And yeah, it's RGB lighting in a curtain form so that you can do this or GIFs or whatever you want. Yeah. I plan on buying more so I can go all the way across. And all I've done so far is make that and a Desperate Housewives GIF.
Priorities.
Wait. Okay, when you say GIF, you mean it can do a moving image?
Let me do this for the people watching the video version. This is what you get if you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
That was good.
Exclusive content. You love to see it. Jesus Christ.
My God, that is tremendous.
Yeah.
For folks who can't see, this is kind of like a, what would you call that? Like 8-pixel GIF of Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really even tell what it is, but there you go.
I wouldn't tell, for your own sanity, I wouldn't tell Ash Whaling about this because that in his hands would be dangerous. Jesus.
It looks like the outside of my local Chinese massage parlor.
Jesus Christ.
Nathan, how are you?
So bloody good. Happy to be back. I've got my voice back. And
That's
you know
very
I'm
exciting,
using
isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, clearly. Jumping right on in with that one.
Not a moment too soon.
Yeah, and I'm going to be stuttering in and out tonight, folks. We've got internet wobbles. We'll see how we go.
We will persevere. Adam?
Yes, hello. I'm good. It's hotter than hell in this room, but I'm making do. I'm doing okay.
Okay. I'm very proud of you on that. And Zach, are you also hot as hell tonight?
I'm not as hot as hell as last week. You know, I haven't got the guns out this week, mate. I've
that's true.
Put them away. But no, you know, the week is. She's heating up at work though. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Before you do go on, because I will forget, and I just remembered, and I almost forgot. I have to give a shout out because we have a new listener who listened to the podcast and sent me a message and said that they quite enjoyed our show. So big shout out to Kelly, who is a new listener of the podcast. So big shout outs there.
Big shout outs to Kelly.
Huge shout outs. Epic shout outs. Carry on, James.
In between wrangling in new listeners named Kelly and work, have you had time to play anything?
No.
Perfect. Adam.
Yeah,
what have you been playing, mate?
I've mainly been playing Marvel Rivals because that's got its hooks in as my current multiplayer obsession. It's a fun thing to do when hanging out digitally with mates, Zach. Keep your head shakes to yourself. Outside of that, Dungeons of Hinterberg, that'll perk you up a little bit. I think I said last week that I started it. I think I'm like 5 or 6 dungeons in now, and it's, speaking of hooks in, mate, that game is fantastic. I love the kind of social element to it as well, which I don't usually vibe with, like social sim elements in games that are kind of tacked on, but I don't know, something about the feel of this game. I'm vibing with it, but yeah, it's very, very, very good.
It's very calming, isn't it?
It is. It's like strangely relaxing. And like I was saying, I'm playing it on the Steam Deck, so it's just kind of like at the end of the day when I've got nothing else to do, just kind of sitting in bed or sitting on the couch, just playing it on a handheld. It's chef's kiss. Loving it.
Quick
Having a
question
real
for
good
you
time.
on that. How are you finding the combat? Because I know that's what some people did mention, that they found the combat a little bit samey, a bit repetitive. I would disagree, because I thought there was a good mix up of going to different dungeons and stuff, which give you different
I also
skills.
disagree. I think the combat is pretty much bang on what I would want it to be. They mix it up with the different like the sword abilities, as well as the different kinds of magic that you can use. And I think they use the combat just enough. I'm actually more impressed by kind of just the discovery of the different areas. Kind of it doesn't completely signpost everything. It kind of just tells you to go out and find stuff for your own. But also the puzzles. The puzzles are actually genuinely pretty cool. So no, I'm enjoying it. I think the combat is good, and all of the other elements kind of maybe lift up when it does get a little bit samey. So I really don't have that many critiques a couple hours in. But yeah, that's been me.
Okay.
No further questions.
Nathan, have you played anything this week?
Haven't really fared from the usual. So, in toiling away on Black Ops 6 Zombies, trying to get through the new map, the Citadel de Morts, or however it's pronounced, the French Citadel with the swords and shit. Very, very challenging. Finally managed to get through all the Easter eggs and do the
Nice.
final boss. And yeah, it was quite a significant trial. It felt like a raid in terms of like complexity. And to get through it with 3 strangers was a very satisfying moment. A lot of fun.
Do you jump on mic with these people?
Never. Fuck no. The funny thing is I don't know how to. Black Ops 6 has kind of like locked all my communications off, and it like grays out the ability to turn it back on. Like it can't detect a microphone even though it's there. Anyway, I'm
That's how
happy.
it starts, mate. Then they ban you from all Call of Duties ever. So it's a slippery slope. Be careful.
Okay. Kieron, regale us.
I've pretty much the only thing I've been playing, which is in the like half an hour to an hour that I get to actually play something these days, is Infinity Nikki, which I'm having
nice.
a lot of fun with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw this pitched as, is it the coziest open world game? Is that accurate?
Sure. It's format wise, it's essentially like Genshin Impact with dress ups. So like your skill checks aren't RPG style stats and stuff. It's like what you're wearing. But yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's super pretty, and like you get a lot of game for free, because it is free to play and supported by like microtransactions and battle passes and all the usual shit. But like most of that's like pretty much all of that's cosmetic. And like the open world is huge. There's so many missions to do. There's so much to find that you could literally play for like, I think I've put like 40 something hours into it, and
Holy shit!
You haven't hit any walls or gates yet. So yeah, really liking it.
Okay.
What's this game pitched for? Like,
Sorry?
if you like, who would be into this game? Like, what kind of other games would you point to that are similar that you might have a transferred audience?
I don't want to say Genshin Impact again, but like, yeah,
That's fair.
Genshin Impact if you're questioning your like sexuality and gender.
Yeah,
There's an audience there.
Interesting pitch. All right. I finally did the Alan Wake DLC in Control. It was
Hell
like the last bit of Control I hadn't played. I wish I'd done this DLC before the other DLC, because I think the Foundation DLC is much better. The Alan Wake DLC I thought was like fine enough. But for a game that I was so high on for the entire experience, to end it on like a fine note kind of was a bit of a bummer. Like, it doesn't detract from it, obviously, but yeah, I thought the DLC itself was just fine.
Are you talking like both or just the Lake House?
Oh, no, for
It's
Control.
other way around.
Like the Control Alan Wake DLC.
The Alan Wake DLC.
Not the Alan Wake Control DLC. Yeah.
That
I know.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Thank you for joining me. Yeah, it was fine. It was okay. Adam, if you get up to the DLC, I highly recommend doing it before you do
Yeah, thanks for treading that ground ahead of me because I will definitely do that because I plan on going through all the DLCs. So would you say Alan Wake or AWE first?
Yeah, absolutely. Just smash it out, get it out of the way, and then wrap
Cool.
up on Foundation. Yeah.
I would agree
Easy.
with that, but I actually preferred the AW over
Ooh.
Foundation considerably.
Really?
And I just found the combat so frustrating in Foundation that having that little bit of extra ramp, doing the Alan Wake one first, might just smooth it out a bit.
Oh,
Okay.
now my dads are fighting and I don't know what to do.
Well,
I'm agreeing with James. I kinda.
yeah, no, like I have long held to the fact that I think that most Remedy games are best on easy, and so that is how I approach those games. And so if you adapt, because they have really solid approachability options and accessibility stuff, so like tweak it as much as you want, and then just find your exact rhythm with it and play to that style. You're not actually there, in my opinion, in a Remedy game to be challenged by the combat. You're there to enjoy the vibe and the story that they're telling you. I think combat is just like a fun, superfluous thing on the side. So, but yeah.
I bumped the difficulty down towards the end of the Lake House DLC, and 100% I agree with that. The end boss fight at the Lake House DLC is fucking just cooked. But when I bumped the difficulty down, had a great time. So yeah, 100% back you on that.
Cool.
I'll have to
Good.
keep that in mind.
Nathan's sitting there like he's the motherfucker that plays everything on. I want my
Possible
butthole
difficulties and-
punched. Yeah.
I don't often hear compelling arguments for going the opposite direction, but that certainly was one because I
I
absolutely agree.
often don't think there is, but yeah, with Remedy, yeah, for some reason. Zach, you have a question?
Not regarding Remedy, but when we go to the next, I have a question. Two questions actually.
I see. All right. Well, that is as good a time as any to go to the next thing then. Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards have happened once.
No. Hang on. I got two questions first before we get to that. I just said that.
You said it was about the next thing, and the next thing we were talking about was the Game Awards.
Sorry. I meant like after we finish up of
Podcasts.
Remedy.
How are they made? What are your questions?
Kieron, what are you wearing for earbuds and that? I'm curious because we can't see any cans on. So what's underneath those?
Oh,
that
Oh,
thing
I'm
there?
just wearing in-ear. I've just got like these little Razor boys. I've just
Okay.
got one of them in.
Oh, naked
Just one.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, because I don't like to block out everything, and I don't. I have these, but I lost the other battery, and they're not charged. So
Just be on. How does one lose a
does that
battery?
answer your question? Is that
It
both
does
questions or just the first one?
Just the first question. The second question is more for Adam and James. So I was speaking with someone, younger generation, about Star Wars. And yes,
Oh
and
no.
Here we go.
well, they told me, and I found this quite fascinating, that the younger generation actually quite rate the prequels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you explain this
Correct.
to me? This phenomenon to me.
I think so I think there's a bit of nostalgia that comes with it because a lot of those younger viewers maybe started with the prequels potentially, but also the Clone Wars, which came out in the early to mid 2000s. I don't know exactly. Did a lot to salvage what happened in the prequels. A lot of Clone Wars is significantly better than the prequels, but in coming out and being decent quality, it kind of uplifts the whole thing. James might have a different view on it, but nostalgia and Clone Wars would be my answer.
That is the
Interesting.
correct answer. I disagree that the Clone Wars is good, but that is the reason. Yeah.
This person said that they're like that bad that they're good.
Like an ironic enjoyer.
Parts of them, yes. Like Attack of the Clones, they're like the
Camp
love
masterpiece.
scenes. Holy fucking shit, man! Absolutely, like it's a train wreck you can't look away kind of situation.
I'm
Not like
I'm
sex
getting
thing.
two
That's
vibes
not
from
what
here.
I'm.
James just goes masterpiece. I can't tell if that was actually.
I said
in
camp masterpiece.
Oh right. Okay,
There's
right.
a
Okay.
difference. Yeah.
Okay, I missed that
shit,
bit.
it's
I was
good,
going to say
mate.
that is a very different take right there.
Yeah. No. Although I do want to have this take out loud just to see Adam's response to it. I think Attack of the Clones is a far better movie than Revenge of the Sith. So
Nah, just nah.
All right.
I can't have that at all. I respect your
Phantom
opinion,
Menace
James.
is better than both of them. So
Phantom Menace is fucking incredible. It also has the best bit
Oh.
of Star Wars music in the entire series in Duel of
Well,
Fates.
let's.
That does.
Okay.
Don't stretch the friendship more than you already have.
Interesting. Well, there you go. But they also did say that the sequels, which I
Mhm.
assume is the new ones,
Mhm.
dog shit, rubbish.
Yep,
One of them,
fair
certainly.
opinion.
This is why I don't quite understand the fascination with Star Wars. For a series that's made so many dog shit films or bad films, why are people still in love with it?
If you want a real answer to that, the
Stockholm
More
Syndrome.
Civilized Age podcast does a really good job of breaking down
I'm not
why
listening to
people
that.
still love Star Wars despite how bad Star Wars can be. And it's usually, just long story short, it's the potential of Star Wars. When it's good, it's good like few other things. You just have to sift through a lot of bad years to get to that good stuff.
Interesting. Anyway, that was just my second question. Thank you.
I look forward to more weekly Star Wars questions. If this is going to be
Yeah.
a
It's not a
recurring
bad idea
thing,
for
that would be lovely.
Hey, and you thought you rolled your eyes when I said, no. Pump the brakes.
I don't think anybody rolled their
No,
eyes
no,
as
no.
such.
No, I definitely rolled my eyes, and I'll
okay, yeah.
apologize for it.
Mm.
All right, back to Jeff.
Yeah, speaking of things to be apologized for. No, he did an all right one. It's okay. Everything's fine. Game of the year. The Game Awards, they happened. Let's hit the actual award winners first because we should prioritize those, unlike somebody else. Game of the year went to Astrobot. How do we feel?
Correct decision.
Sure. I feel like this
Yeah.
was a weaker year, but I mean, I don't really know much this year.
Oh, like week for releases, you mean?
Oh, Theft
Yeah,
Source.
yeah.
Mm.
So
Among the
sure.
games that were nominated, I think it deserved it.
Can you remind me of the nominations again?
There was also Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I would have guessed either the one that won or the last one, personally.
Yeah. Metaphor
Yeah.
did have a strong night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game direction also went to Astrobot, same nominees again. I think the ability for maybe anyone to really distinguish between game direction and game of the year is not great. Maybe I don't know. That's a conversation that we probably had at some point.
What does,
Nathan, best narrative. Yes.
Sorry, I have a question. What, you know how they normally, when they have those nominees and whatnot, they just describe the categories and whatnot. Like, what does he say for best direction? Like, what is the
Adam's on
synopsis
it,
there?
which is
Yep.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to know what this is too. Like, what does this mean?
Hang on, I'm there. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Sounds like game of the year.
How good is the game?
Yep.
What, okay. For just out of interest, what were the noms in that category?
The exact
the same as game of the year. Hence the maybe mess.
So game direction, like if we're Balatro getting nominated for game direction, I think maybe is the perfect example of this isn't a very well defined category.
Maybe Jeff
'Cause
got
it's
a
like-
discount
it's a
on
card game?
more trophies.
I
was actually going to argue in the opposite direction. I think Balatro probably should have won game direction, just because it was an innovation in design
I was
directed
going to say
by a
innovation in
person.
design makes sense. I think.
Yeah,
I don't.
as opposed to what Astrobot. It's a platformer. Sorry.
No, 100%.
Venom.
No, like, I'm excited to play Astrobot at some point. But yeah, I mean, like, I think them being the same list obviously doesn't help the situation. They are uneven awards, let's say. We all know this. There's a bit of a oddness with this. Nathan, do you think Metaphor getting best narrative tracks?
Well, having only played two entrants in that category, I mean, Metaphor Refantasio, I still thought was one of the strongest narratives I've played probably the last couple of years. It did a lot to address kind of like the current tropes in fantasy, particularly RPGs out of Japan, and sort of twist them on their head in quite interesting and surprising ways. And the story probably still has a bit more to tell. Yeah, good on them.
Okay. Very good. Very good. A contentious one, perhaps. Kieron, I want to get you in on this. Best performance to Melina Juergens again.
Sorry, Melinda Juergens.
I'm sorry, I was reading the write-up on WellPlayed.
No, that's
not-
correct. But as Jeff would put it, or
Oh,
whoever
did he-
announced it.
Melinda?
Anyway,
Thinking the
continue.
worst of
Anyway,
me immediately,
continue.
James.
Look, you're fine, bud. I got to get the licks in where I can. My take on this is that I think that like a very good performance for sure. It's functionally indistinguishable from the very good performance she was already awarded this award for. Whereas I thought someone like Luke Roberts' work in Silent Hill 2 was genuinely quite adult and subtle and interesting.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think the repeated award is the part where I get a bit tripped up here.
I think so. And also like very good performance, but also very good performance technology.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's easier to see that come through in that game than maybe in some other games. Like, this is maybe going to be a little bit biased, but I thought Brianna White was really good in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in like, you know, handling the script she was given and giving life to, you know, those scenes that are so embedded in people's minds already. Like just,
and those aren't
just for fans to
photorealistic
accept
faces,
those is like
you know?
huge.
Yeah.
Mm.
Likewise, best audio design going to Hellblade 2 when Silent Hill 2 is right there maybe gives me a little bit of pause as well. But I mean, look, a lot of this is because I didn't think Hellblade 2 was a very good game. Technically impressive, but not a great game. And so like I get a bit tetchy maybe about some of these awards going elsewhere. But I also think Silent Hill 2, the parts that it deserved to be like truly recognized for are these awards. Like I think some of these technical elements should have been given more of a boost, let's say.
For sure.
Zach, you look contemplative.
I'm just, yeah. What are we on again? Audio design.
That we are. But we can be on anything. Like the floor is open. Like, is there any award noms or like wins that anyone's feeling some type of way about?
I think, I mean, and we spoke about this when we discussed the nominations. I think Banishers I wouldn't give the game any like awards. Maybe narrative would be up there, but yeah, I think performance-wise, I think they were two very, very excellent performances. I think this shows that if you're not a big hit to a certain degree, I think you kind of get a bit overlooked. And that's not probably Jeff's fault because it's the judges that vote and it's, you know, whatever. But I think your game can be not the best but still excel in certain areas.
Completely agreed. Yep. Adam, can you do me a favor while you're on the old award nom site? What is the what is it? Games for Impact. How is this defined?
Let's have a look because James, that's a wonderful question because it doesn't really tell you anything, does it? For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. So never won this from Nomada Studio. A nice enough game. You know, I think I gave it a 7. That sounds about right for me. Yeah. Kieron, any thoughts on this? Impact game.
Never. I liked Never, but like I don't. It's hard to like pass the category itself, but like social impact, I don't really see where that factors into that at all. Same with Hellblade again. I would have loved to see Tales of Kenzera win this. Or
Absolutely.
even Indica. Like I love that game, but again, not a game that I would pick for this category.
Yeah, that threw me too.
And I haven't played Life is Strange or Close of the Distance.
What about a game like Dustborn?
See, I would put that in that category.
Yeah. And that's, you know, I didn't love that game in the end, but you know, you look at the comments on that channel. And it's everything that the gamers hate, so you know, I think that's how
I feel like games for impact. I feel like games for impact and games that make Twitter chuds angry should be like the same category.
Venn diagram's a circle. Like completely agreed. Nathan or Adam, both of you, I know you're big on this. Best ongoing going to Helldivers 2. Feeling good about this?
Yep.
Particularly in the wake of how the night unfolded, that being they adding a whole new faction to the game and significantly ramping up, or rather refreshing what was already there. I've dived back in, and I like it just keeps on giving. It's a very rewarding experience, even coming back this late in the year. So I was really pleased to see this one. It was a tough category though, I think.
Yeah, very much so. And I think it's on multiple levels, right? Because the content stream for Helldivers has been good, but Arrowhead has also been very transparent with development, and like their social teams have been really good with upkeep of interest. Like on every metric, I think Arrowhead deserves a nod for best ongoing. So yeah, real happy that they won that.
Hmm. Has anyone here played Black Myth Wukong?
Not for a single minute.
I played
Wouldn't
about an
mind,
hour of
but-
it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Is that enough?
Best action game. Do you agree? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I played about an hour of it.
Yeah. That's very fair. That's very fair. I think, Helldivers 2 could have comfortably grabbed something like that. I think that game is like definitively a wonderful action experience, but again, it is what it is. Best multiplayer game for that as well is a very nice nod. So happy days there. Zach, is there anything, any awards that got given out that you feel some type of way about?
Should there be?
No, I was not
No,
setting you up.
no,
I was simply
right.
asking you a question.
Probably only the ones that we've spoken about previously. I feel like I haven't really had much. I haven't played enough this year to have a big say on these awards.
So you played the winner of the best sports category, I believe.
I did, and actually I was playing that earlier today. So my boys Doncaster, shout outs to them.
I deserve the award.
Sports game. I mean, sure, whatever.
Excellent.
WWE, man, give it to them. One of these years.
Like whatever the
One of
game.
these
Yeah,
years.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Like, is racing in sports? Like,
Yeah, it's best sports and racing.
Okay. Like, actually, what were the noms in that? I'm curious for that.
So you got F1 24,
Sure.
you got FC 25, NBA 2K25, Top
So
Spin 2K25.
the same games, basically.
Well,
Every
they're
year.
all annualized.
They are, including WWE 2K24.
True.
I mean, it's an award that's there, but sure.
It fills the space. Indeed.
Adam, Balatro sweep for the Indies. Correct? Feeling good?
Yeah, Blatro fucking bangs. That game is excellent on every single level. So, and it's wild to have played and enjoyed the game that won best mobile game, because every other year I'm like, I don't know what the fuck any of that means. And for Blatro to win over the Pokemon trading card game, I think is fucking awesome, because the Pokemon trading card game is essentially just opening packs of Pokemon cards every day.
Isn't it?
So for like an actual game, James, to win instead of that, I think is great.
A real card game. Yeah, not a fake card game like Pokemon.
Exactly right.
Excellent. Any other winners we want to shout out before we move on to the thing everyone cares about?
Was there a best art direction, just out of interest?
There
Surely
was. Metaphor Refantasio.
I mean,
Which
fair.
is deserved.
Don't know
Yeah.
enough about that, but sure.
Don't need to
I mean,
really
like,
comment on that
you
one,
could take one look at any of the menus and go, oh, okay. Like,
Yep. Agreed.
No argument.
yeah. All right. Announcements. World premieres. The old Keeley special, the source in the award show. Nathan, I want to start with you. What was your game of the show? Or reveal, I guess.
Is he frozen?
He does
Couldn't
look
have
indeed
been
frozen.
better timing.
You've you've stumped him.
Nathan, we'll come back to Nathan. Adam, tell me, what was yours?
So there were a lot of obviously big hitter items, but one of the smaller ones that took me by surprise and I was excited for is Rematch, which is the new game from Slow Clap, so the team behind Sifu. I enjoy this so much because I love when a developer absolutely knocks something out of the park and everyone's like, I can't wait until they do that thing again, but more, and then they just decide to do something completely different. I love developers just taking a punt at something new. And Rematch is, everyone has made the comparison and it sounds really stupid, but it's Rocket League, but with people because it looks more like that than it does like actual
Rocket
soccer
League,
or
but
FIFA.
make it humorous.
Yeah, Rocket League, but with legs. Hello, Zach.
So just to jump back slightly, best sports game, 12 months time or whenever this comes out. Is this going to be in that? Is this a sports game, or is
Yeah,
this a
100%.
multiplayer game?
No, it's as much a sport game as Rocket League is, and Rocket League is definitely 100% a sport game.
What?
Like,
Exactly.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
it's soccer. Like it's a sport.
yeah,
Well,
it
I
is.
didn't-
It is
well,
soccer.
So I was thinking of what's that pretty shit game we played from the Aussie devs that time? Blowfish. They made
Kung Fu
Kung Fu
Kung
Kickball.
Fu
Yeah.
Kickball.
Like I'm thinking, you know, if that was like the absolute tits, would that be a sports game? Because you keep.
I would say yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Anyway,
I would say so. But yes, Rematch I think looks very cool. It's got the same sort of art style as Sifu. But it's soccer, which is just wild. It's crazy to go from a kung fu game to a soccer game. But they seem to be taking similar lessons as it's a very deliberate game. It's not like FIFA where it's just kind of hit circle or whatever to pass a whole bunch of times and hope that you get a goal. That's
You
how I
mean
play
FC?
FIFA, at least. That's exactly what I mean. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it because it'll obviously come down to how it feels. It looks very cool, but it's all about how it plays. But yeah, certainly not expecting it and was very pleasantly surprised.
Good. Nathan, now that you're back, what's yours?
Expecting to drop out any moment. So before I do, Den of Wolves probably takes #1 spot. Really excited every time I see a little bit more of that. So it's from the director of Payday
Chambers.
2 and GTFO.
so it's by
So-
so 10 Chambers, which is the studio that kind of broke away from Starbreeze. No,
GTFO, which
anyway, yeah.
we quite enjoy. Really love an atmospheric co-op shooter. This one's got the Payday heist element involved in there as well. So I'm expecting the tension of GTFO with the high stakes heisting of Payday. That'd be a really sweet combo, and I'm keen for that.
And the soundtrack, Simon
Oh,
Buckland.
Yes.
It looks
So
and
he's
sounds
always
wonderful.
done. Yeah, he's always done a really good track. So good shout.
Yeah, it looks
Kieron,
great.
I want to throw to you, but I'm a little worried that you're going to steal the one that I want to say. But I still feel like I have to offer it up to you anyway. So
I don't know
what
if
is
I
yours?
will.
Okay.
Can I just skim over my top 3 and then give you the one that made me flood my basement?
No, you just get one. These are the rules.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It hurts.
Okay, so
Go on.
I'm gonna feel like I'm disappointing myself if I don't talk about the other ones. But the game that made me genuinely react the most was Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
I fucking knew that's what you were going to say.
Incredible.
Yes. I lost my shit a few times throughout the show, but this was the one that I was like, I can't believe they're actually doing this.
Okay.
So yeah,
Why?
there you go.
Can you explain?
Because the Sonic racing games are genuinely so good and underrated, and although they've released 3 of them at this point, I thought that they were gonna wash their hands of it and just move on because I don't know if anyone played the last one. So
when was the last one?
Not that long ago, like a few years ago.
Okay.
Sonic Racing Transforms. No. What's the other one? Anyway. That one. But yeah, I kind of thought that it was a Team Sonic Racing. It was the last one. I kind of thought it was a done deal. So it was more a combination of excitement and surprise.
Very good.
2019
Very
for
good.
Team Sonic Racing.
Yeah, that's a substantial amount of time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Zach, what went you
What
watched?
could it be?
I wonder. So prior to the show, we had a little bit of a we chatted in our Slack, and we were like, you know, what are we thinking? What's gonna happen? I was like, surely a Dino Crisis is coming. You know, that makes more sense. They ain't gonna do Onimusha because bloody Ubisoft's going to Japan. Bloody Ghost of Yotai's coming. You know, we've just had that stop motion game that's just come out last week that's apparently dog shit. You know, why would Capcom go there? And, you know, fuck me running. Onimusha Way of the Sword.
Fuck me
Here
running.
we fucking come. My second favorite franchise ever. So I am very excited by this. Yeah, though, and when fuck Adam. So I'm busy at work, so I can't actually see this. He goes, oh yeah, there's a new Onimusha release. I'm like, yeah, fuck off, right? Good one, dickhead. And he's like, no, like there was for real. And I was like, oh fucking, you seriously? He goes, yeah, it's a card game. And I was like, oh. Genuinely believe there was a card game. He's like, nah, just fucking with it. But looks very, very
well
cool.
done, Adam.
Yeah, the highs and the lows. Yeah, I feel like if you were watching this live, you would have
the orb.
broken
I was
in
like,
tears when you saw the
fucking yeah, instantly. Well, the very start when the orbs kind of went to the guy to the glove, I was like, we're on here, boys. We're on.
We're back. We're on a mooshering. How do you feel about? I've seen some people, and if they've said more about this that I'm unaware of, correct me. But like I've seen people interpret that trailer as more of a one-on-one combat style, maybe even vaguely Souls inspired. How do you, as someone who isn't maybe amazing at those experiences, does that make you nervous?
I just don't have the time to commit.
Mm.
No,
that's
because
kind of the philosophy of the original games.
Yeah, it is a bit more Resident Evil with swords, if you want to be very simplistic about it, versus something like a Souls-like game. But this is a game series IP experience that I will definitely I will dedicate that time. You know, when there's a setting, whatnot, you know, like Tales of Iron, for example, like I will give it my time to learn. And the good thing I like about those games is they're linear to a certain extent, right? They're not like Elden Ring, right, where it's fucking open world. So yeah, give it to me. I don't think it's
Hot
Samanovsky though. I think it's a new character, but I've not really read that much about it. So
it'd be so good for them to reopen the franchise. Like I'd love for them to keep remaking the old ones. The remake of the first one was great.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because they did the remaster a couple years ago. So I wonder if they're just
2019, I think.
No, be 2021-ish too, maybe.
Still in Tassie, surely.
No.
Is this Warlords?
I reviewed it, so
Warlords was 2019.
Oh fucking hell!
Yeah,
right.
Wow.
There you go. But yeah, this is coming 2026.
I think they'll get Jean Reno back.
Isn't he old?
Sorry. Yeah. Is he not allowed to be in a video game?
Well,
isn't he old?
I thought for a second that I thought he was dead. So I was like, is that like a?
Oh, then he really wouldn't be in it.
Is that like a thing about like back from the dead demon things? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh no, poor form.
Now,
all right. I'm wrangling us back. If you had told me that the FromSoft announcement wasn't going to be my favorite thing from this, I would have smacked you in the face. And yet, if there was one man who could come along and dethrone Fumito Ueda coming in with a fucking mech game, this is so far up my alley. That short teaser trailer, I think, was like a masterclass in tone and just vibe setting for the most part. They said like a vague mix of gameplay and cinematics, right? So it's kind of clambering up a giant mech this time, you know, piloting the Colossus, as it were. Then the head like takes off and a giant wave of weird bodies hits it and it all blows up. It's fucking, mate, this is why we play video games. Yes, Zach.
Cum gutters. Yes or no?
I don't think we could tell from the angle on the
Nah,
we didn't get anything below the chest. That's advised. We're not spoiling anything.
He knows how to get me. Stu Waiter, you see me. So that was easily my game of this thing. I was blown away, especially because like that dude is like an artist. He makes games that are abrasive and weird and uncompromising.
Annoying.
And to have exactly annoying, complimentary, annoying. But yeah, to have Keely kind of like get a bit misty eyed introducing it. Like Keely and I have our differences, but on this, brother, I see you. So yeah, very very good.
James Wood though.
Oh. Mate. Floor is open now. What else jumped out to anybody? How do we feel about Naughty Dog?
Good.
I think the trailer bangs as far as like setting the scene for the world that it's going to inhabit. I mean, obviously it's very early days and it's very filled with product placement. But I also... So I don't know. I felt this way a little bit with Death Stranding, because obviously that had Monster Energy drink to begin with until they changed it for the director's cut or whatever the fuck it was called.
Oh, really?
It did, yeah. I'm guessing the license ran out or whatever. I don't know. But so I've sat with particularly this trailer because they had a Sony branded like console piece, and they had Adidas shoes, and they had the funniest one, which is a Porsche spaceship, which is fucking just excellent. I thought about it later, and I was like,
Porsche
if we
challenge
didn't
too,
tell
baby.
Zach about this, I was like, is he going to think this is a new Porsche challenge? But also, we don't see like any brands in video games, like just in general. Not most of the time, it's no product placement. That's usually a good thing, but also no in-world brands. It's all just kind of vague products with nothing on them. So I almost don't mind, but also it depends how egregious it is when we're actually playing the game. But that all said, I think, yeah, the tone of this trailer was very cool. And that like waveformy sword is fucking rad. It is very cool. But yeah, keen to hear what you boys have to think about it.
Kieron's
Looks really
nodding a
good.
lot.
Kieron's all sorts of nodding.
I'm with Adam on that. I like the vibe of what they showed, and I'm like, I would like to play a game with a Naughty Dog budget that has all these things in it.
Yes.
Like that.
Yep.
Sold on that. Still not a fan of Neil Druckmann in his art or his life, but I will play it. So yeah.
How do you feel about it being a tale about a religious organization?
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Is it really?
Yep. I mean, it's called The Heretic Prophet, so it's right
I
there.
know. I know, but I didn't know that was like that.
No, it is like I think they put out like a short plot description. It's like actually about religion. So
Yeah.
Mm.
It's hard to
Sure.
know until it's out and everyone
Yeah.
plays it and we see what that entails, but it's not instilling a lot of confidence.
Yep. Nathan, do you have any feelings on this?
I really don't. Neither
Cool.
good nor bad. If it didn't leave an impression, I just want to,
Yeah.
I'll define my thoughts on the next reveal we see of it.
Sure.
Yeah, very fair. I kind of ended up feeling a bit the same way. Like, I don't think it's quite sourceless, but I don't see the appeal either. It just kind of struck me as very generic sci-fi with an 80s blend on it, and we've seen too many of those. I just don't really care anymore. And I think, Adam, to your point about the product placement, it's clearly like, I think it's going to be a narrative-driven thing, that it's meant to put it into our world as part of like our ongoing history and whatnot. And so like, I don't mind it in that regard. But I do just think that like specifically like the type of shoes and stuff like that, it's just, to me, it smacks of very much like a particular type of internet nostalgia for neo wave culture, fucking YouTube chill out 8-hour-long videos, and like, cool.
Fucking
I
love
just
those.
don't. I don't. Yeah, for a YouTube video, it's fine. For a multi-billion-dollar production from Naughty Dog, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Gameplay, I think, would have turned me around, but that's not the world that we live in. So
I'll be interested to see if. Sorry, Zach. I'll be interested
go.
to see because, yeah, as you were going to say, there's that little snippet at the end that obviously it's not gameplay, but it kind of hints towards it. Naughty Dog hasn't done anything that's melee focused in a very, very long time. So I'll be interested to see if maybe it is melee. I mean, the chick's got a giant fuck off laser sword.
she does.
For the what is this? I assume is the box art, so probably. But yeah, I'm very interested to see more. They did enough to make me want to see more.
Speaking of lack of gameplay, that I mean, I know definitely made Adam want to see more. Witcher 4. This is very early, but we got a long movie, just a little animated short about The Witcher 4. Obviously, we can't talk about gameplay because there was nothing on offer, but Ciri is back. Adam, yes?
Yes. Yeah, fuck yeah. There's no other choice. Like, Ciri is the choice for the protagonist of The Witcher 4. I think it would have been fucking wild to choose anyone else. I think Ciri in her older, like just in her older years, or like, I don't know, she's a fully grown adult now. I think that the model looks awesome. I think she looks great. That I fuck with the CD Projekt Red like cinematic trailers something shocking. Like the Witcher 3 cinematic trailers just make me uncomfortable in the pants on an ungodly level. And this had that same source, right? It had the awful kind of world where they're all shit, everyone sucks, there's no good people. The ending line of there are no gods, only monsters. Like everything about this is ticking boxes. And I know it'll be a technical mess when it comes out, but it won't stop me from being exceptionally excited for it.
That end line is also just very, very Witcher. Like that is a short Witcher
for
story,
sure.
basically, as an animated short. So like it very much keeps in with the
Absolutely.
tone and vibe of those books, which is exciting. Other things that aren't these things.
James,
Adam.
you alluded to this, and I need to get your thoughts on it because I've been wrestling with it for a few days now, which is Elden Ring Night Rain, which for anyone unaware is a complete spin-off of Elden Ring after From Software like, we're definitely not doing anything Elden Ring for a while. Psych, we're actually doing it next. It's a roguelike 3-player multiplayer game. Just give me your thoughts on this. This is fucking wild.
Yes, I posted about this on Blue Sky. Like, I think that this is, for all intents and purposes, like the best possible outcome of Elden Ring blowing up the way that it has, because this is a cheaper product. It clearly has been developed in conjunction with everything else that Elden Ring has been doing, and so it's not going to be taking up sort of your A and B team time moving forward for From Software. I believe them when they say they're not working on more Elden Ring. I think this is just more of that version we've already got. Outside of that, I think it looks cool. Like it's a deliberately co-op designed Elden Ring that's going to be cheaper, that looks like it incorporates a bit more of Sekiro's speed, so happy days on that front. The roguelike stuff, whatever, doesn't usually not my bag for a genre, but from what I've read about it from people who had like 8 hours of hands-on time, so this thing is like cooked, you know, it's kind of ready. It sounds like an interesting one of these, and From Software is one of those studios that like I will show up no matter what, even if it's not on its face what I would want from them.
Yeah, it's an interesting product because we all kind of agree that, because it's got a bit of like the battle royale zhuzh to it, right? Where it's the shrinking map and you drop in and all of that shit. I've listened and read enough like hands-on impressions to get that sort of vibe from it. And we can all agree that we're pretty done with that genre, right? That's kind of, we're looking to move away from that now into something else multiplayer. Sorry, I know I paused. And it does worry me a little bit that everyone's like, okay, no, it's fine. Like, it's FromSoft, so we'll give them the bandwidth to do what they want with it. I know it's not a genre that we really want them to do. So I just, it's not going to be something for me. But more than anything, I just hope that it doesn't fall into some sort of pitfall and people are disappointed by it. But it's an interesting play from FromSoft. So I hope it does well for those who are into that sort of thing.
I hear you. Yeah.
I'll jump in. A couple of short ones for me, very, very similar things, but a new Virtua Fighter. I did love that game back in the day, so keen
Super
to.
surprised by that one.
But also,
is it the Yakuza devs that are doing that?
Yeah.
Wild.
It kind of made sense. They've had Virtua Fighter in every one of their games for the last how many years?
They've been angling for it.
Yep.
And the Double Dragon Revive announcement, but I don't know. Yeah, if this is a beat 'em up, then give it to me.
You'd hope so.
Zach, were you a Ninja Gaiden man at any stage?
I was Onimusha, bro.
Can only be one or the other. I forgot.
Only one ninja.
Predates it quite a bit.
No, actually,
It
just
does.
never.
Like 10 years?
I never played it, to be honest.
Cool.
Sorry about that. Well,
Project Century.
Yeah.
Project Century, I'm very excited about.
At first, I was like, is this a new God Hand? And then I was like, is this something like Sleeping Dogs? And I was like, nah, this has definitely got some of that Yakuza DNA.
Yeah.
And then we see there's the like Dragon team. I was like, we're doing something new. How many projects can this goddamn team work on? It's very exciting. I wait to see more.
Mm.
James, anything from
Uh,
you?
I mean, Okami coming back is cool.
Thank you. I was waiting for someone to
yeah.
mention that.
I also think like, and I joked about it before, but like, I watched the back half of the Game Awards like 2 days later, basically. And so I knew that Naughty Dog's thing was coming up at some point. And there's a point at the end of the show where Keeley gets up and he's like, as gamers, you know, I'm a gamer, you're a gamer. This is such an incredibly important moment for us. He's like welling up. He is so earnestly into whatever he's about to announce. And my brain went like, it's just fucking Naughty Dog, man. Calm down. And so when it was Akami, I was like, oh shit, you know, that's a dweeb. That's a good dweeb up there. So like I found that very, very charming. And just, you know, cool to see the kind of like sequel to Clover Studio being Clover's, you know, just
So
like little
good.
continuity.
Hideki Kamiya is on this, yeah?
Yes, that is correct.
That is, Jesus. Yeah, that's wild.
Good sign.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. And Mafia: The Old Country, I haven't liked any of the other Mafia
Mm.
games, but I fucking love this concept. So let's hope that this one's
Yeah.
good.
This is
Authentically
early next year,
Italian.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It
Grazie.
must star Russell Crowe then. Nathan, for you and I, surely Dying Light the Beast. Got a little bit of a
Nah.
no, okay.
Nathan's so
Beast-
burnt.
The Beast was
I am
yeah, that's
so
right.
burnt after
yeah.
Dying Light 2. Like, I got nothing left in the system for that. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's all you.
Fair.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, me too.
like you know,
Yep.
more Dying Light, sure. Like I'll check it out. You know, it's not my favorite thing going around, but you know, I'll always play probably whatever they put out.
Yeah, look, I probably will too. Then complain.
That's the spirit.
Good, isn't it?
There we go. Yeah.
I thought either Kieron, now I could be way off the mark here, KV or James. I thought one of you would have already just spoken about Dispatch.
Same.
Okay, no, fuck me.
Sure.
I
No.
I think the
I
concept is cool.
I almost did mention like I liked what I saw in terms of how they're kind of evolving that Telltale formula. It looks like there's a lot more actual game in that game, which is exciting. But office comedy superheroes, we did that. We've done that.
Oh,
Can
okay.
we do something else?
Cape shit, man. Fuck out of here with that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I will play the fuck out of Turok. I'll say that.
Hell
That
yeah.
was so weird. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Was
Saber is an interesting studio / publisher at the moment. Like very, very fucking interesting. Like they've earned a lot of goodwill from 40K because Space Marine 2 bangs. That game is very good. So yeah, everything that they kind of announce and they're like, we're going to try to do the same with this franchise. It instantly grabs my attention. Turok certainly wasn't something I was going to guess, but sure.
When they said that game was Turok at the end of that footage, I was like, no, it's not. It's fine. Like, I want to see what they're doing, but
I disagree.
that's one way to interpret the IP. Yeah, let's have a look. What the? Oh, dearie me. I was left without words, boys.
What did you all think of Split Fiction?
I'll play the shit out of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
James?
I think
Yeah.
Sorry, go James.
No, go.
Get in there. Say how shit it looks.
No, I just think it looks a little generic. That's all.
Okay. I saw the face. I was like, here we go. This will be interesting.
No,
what he means,
look,
though.
I'm in a good mood. No matter anyone tonight. I just thought it was a little generic.
I'm keen for Split Fiction, but I do think that that's accurate. Like, and it sets itself up to be generic by being like, we're going to hop through a bunch of generic sci-fi and fantasy worlds. Like, that's the actual like pitch.
Full Ass Dragons, man.
So
Yeah.
Last
Full Ass
Dragons.
When the trailer was like, but one of them's into sci-fi and one's into fantasy, I was like, okay, all right.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
What did we
anyone
think of the show? Oh no.
No, I was just
Go on.
I'm curious about Borderlands 4. What people thought about it. As never being a Borderlands
showing.
fan, and I haven't watched the trailer, so because I don't care, but obviously big
Actually,
name. So
on that, Kieron is the one that sparked a little bit of interest in that game for me today because I didn't realize who was writing, or at least a part of it anyway.
I feel like they should have just released a list of writers and not had a trailer.
Hmm.
That
Do you
bad,
want to update the...
Do indulge us.
Well, there's like I feel like I'd be doing it an injustice because there's actually like a longer list that I haven't fully gone through. But the two that sparked my interest were obviously Zalavia Nelson Jr., who is Strange Scaffold, so Clickholding and I Am Your Beast and all those cool
El Paso
games.
Elsewhere.
And El Paso Elsewhere. And then Iffy Nwadwe, who is on Dropout and a bunch of other things.
Interesting.
Both very like funny people in different ways. And I feel like will serve the humor of Borderlands or like give it a humor that it didn't have before.
Yes.
So that's very exciting. I think they were credited as like contract writers, so I'm imagining it's like a quest line each or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe some
But
dialogue
just the
punching up.
idea that they're reaching out to those kinds of people, and a lot of the other list of writers that I've seen seems more than just like white dudes with like British humor or like toilet humor or whatever else you want to throw in there. So that's genuinely like kind of exciting.
Agreed. Otherwise, though, yeah, I also thought it looked like another Borderlands, and I don't need that.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
sick.
Totally. Thoughts on the show as a whole to wrap things up. How are we feeling about the progress it's made?
I can feel myself getting excited for the next one, which is not something I could at all say about this one, and prove me wrong. It was a lot of fun. It didn't feel as long as they normally do, even though I'm sure it was as long as they normally are.
Longer.
It was longer. There you go. So obviously the pacing has improved to earn its longer runtime. Wow. Yeah. It covered a lot of ground.
Adam, I know you were higher on it this year.
From an announcement and trailer perspective, like I don't know that you can ask for a great deal more from a showcase. Like it was pretty fucking stacked, and from like a lot of bigger, it ended on a massive Sony IP, like things that you probably wouldn't expect old Jeffers would be able to wrangle in. So from that perspective, I think he's done exceptionally well. I think there is obviously finding the balance. I don't know if there is a balance that everyone would be happy with as far as the actual awards versus the ostensibly the ads. But I think he did a better job of bringing attention to the shit parts of the industry as well. He actually took time to call that out. And was it called Game Changers Award, where old mate got up and had some actual decent time to discuss the layoffs and the great work that he's doing to try to combat that. I think that's great. It's all good optics for Jeff. So fantastic. And as a celebration of 10 years of the Game Awards, which feels wild to say, I think you did overall a really solid job.
Zach?
I didn't really watch it, but sure. Sounds good. I do have one question for everyone though. Is obviously we got the Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds.
Yep.
Are we surprised by the lack of Xbox in this show, given that they have so many games upcoming? Didn't see anything.
They've got nothing cooking. They're just like they're in a transition phase at the moment. Like they've manned up, and now it's going to be 3 years before we see substantial changes from all of those purchases, and so you kind of got like the drip feed of their existing stuff coming through. But
I was quite surprised. I thought we would have seen something from like South of Midnight or like fucking Perfect Dark, sure, or like one of those.
Perfect Dark is not a real video game.
I know.
So
and what's
just
there's one more that they did. The fucking other one, Rebellion, Contraband. That's what I was after. Yeah, like there's something.
Oh, holy shit! I forgot about that.
Existed.
That's my personal take. Only because you got Sony like the headliner act there at the end. Just found it interesting.
Kieron, how'd you feel about the show?
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way since the Chick Hydro Man, for sure. I thought it was
he the
good.
Chicago man? Oh god, I wish I didn't ask that. Don't worry.
Oh, that's Nathan's left. He's left the building.
Yeah, that's it. No.
That was
too
it.
much
That was
fun.
the last straw. Yeah, like, yeah, it was good. Like the announcements and stuff were good. Like Adam said, the show was paced well. It was put together really well. Things that should be considered were considered. The awards felt like an afterthought in both the actual state of the nominations and the execution. And I feel like that was felt in the show, where it was like, look, we know that these are just throwaway accolades to the same 6 games every 5 minutes or whatever. So like, yeah, I feel like that needs a shakeup. Change how it's judged, change how it's presented. I don't know what you would do differently, but like, I feel like the format's just kind of outgrown, or the show's outgrown the format. But aside from that, everything else I thought worked really well.
Yeah, I agree with all these sentiments. I want to shout out 2 moments that I thought were genuinely good. Sam Lake's weird internal monologue before he delivered his award, remarkable. Like, I love that man. I'm glad that he has fun. So that was really good. The Muppets were a thing that I thought was occasionally funny, occasionally whatever. And then that very last bit they had with them, where they wrapped up with like, "Hey, Jeff's back on stage. What a moron." And like, there's no joke there. That's not quippy. That's just insulting him at this point. And I thought that was excellent.
My favorite joke they had was, "Did you know that Jeff's friends with Kojima?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Kojima know that? And it cuts to Kojima just fucking stone face. Amazing. No notes. Loved it.
Yeah. Very, very good. I'm glad they're there. They added a nice balance to things, I think.
Yep. Agreed.
They said what we're all thinking.
They did. They did.
Did Jeff talk about layoffs?
He did.
Yes.
Yep. He even said, I did respect him for being like, "We don't always know how to do this." Like, he just straight up said that. So I thought that was a nice little human moment from him.
And back to the awards or the announcements.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of how it ended up, but yeah.
Cool.
Well, I mean, this transition doesn't work. I was going to say, speaking of folks who don't always know how to do things, but Capcom are actually really good at their jobs. They will be looking to bring back more old franchises to bolster their current slate. Is there anything in Capcom's library
They
that
are fucking liars? They tease our buttholes yearly with those little surveys, and they go, "Here, have a little licky," and then you fucking give them what they want, and then you never see it. And
but surely
you just got your Onimusha.
I just said that. Let me fucking finish.
Nah.
Yeah, give me Dino Crisis, dogs.
Yeah, I would like a Dino Crisis.
But like remake. Interesting.
I'd love remakes.
They're in a position where they can afford to do this now, though. Like, Capcom has been on a fucking tear for the last 4 or 5 years. They've been...
Well, it'll be more than that, wouldn't it? Surely.
Probably, yeah. But like, they've been operating on a completely different level for quite a while now. So I think you're poised to get your Dino Crisis announcement now more than ever. I genuinely think you can't be that far off now.
With Onimusha back, it certainly seems like...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, things are aligning for you now, mate.
Speaking
Bring back
of
Lost
though,
Planet.
I would actually. I would play that.
That's a really good call, actually. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Why?
I don't, because isn't Lost Planet more single player? I've never played Earth Defense Force, so.
No, they're both cakes, but they're very different cakes. So yeah.
That was my way of
What's happening with? Speaking of Capcom, what's happening? This is not even an old game, but that new game, Pragmata. Do we know what's happening with that? Did that come out? No, that was the other one, wasn't it?
No, it got pushed to 2026 / maybe 2025.
Yeah, the one that's made by interns or something. I think they said that. Like, they basically get the junior. Yeah. That's definitely a thing. 100%.
We didn't pay these guys.
Yeah, the day before.
Why it's taking so long? You love to see it.
Don't we just? Does anyone here care about Assassin's Creed Shadows? I just want to quickly ask that.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a
kind
little
of.
bit.
A little bit.
So, was everyone aware that this game was going to have like stronger RPG narrative choices going on in it in terms of like romancing characters, factions you can align with, that kind of stuff?
I assumed it was going to expand on the direction that like Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins
Yeah.
have taken, but I didn't know it was going to go too heavy into the role playing. Like the dialogue options are usually pretty light.
Yeah, it sounds like they are going heavy into it, but they are also pairing it with a mode that makes all these choices for you. So you just have a strict canon playthrough of the game. And it got me thinking about like, as Assassin's Creed has, delved further and further into open world, more choice and whatnot, I think their narratives have broadly gotten a bit weaker and clumsier. And so, I mean, I think
Yeah.
Origins is the exception to that, but anyway.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, do we think that like the inclusion of this kind of mode is them kind of unintentionally maybe acknowledging that like, hey, this is going to be the best written version of this story because this is the story?
Absolutely not. I don't think they're self-aware enough for that. But I certainly will be playing the game on this mode because I don't think that any of the Assassin's Creed games that have given you choices that I really give too much of a shit about. And I also, these like larger games where maybe your choices will affect things, I get a little bit of anxiety when it comes to that sort of shit, and I like to have the choices made for me. So this is like, I'd like this kind of mode in any game that has like branching choices. It's like, I don't know, pick a fucking path for me and just let me play it because I don't want to be sweating over decisions. So I don't know, it sounds good.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, so this sounds like it's a story-driven mode almost, and when you talk about like The Witcher 4, right? Because I was read some things, heard some things. Like there's multiple endings in that in that game.
Yeah.
And I guess if this mode was in that game, we'd end up where we are, kind of thing, rather than a different ending where you go, well, I fucking did this.
Yeah. That's an excellent point. Yeah, like with I know that this is going back a ways, but between Infamous and Infamous 2 and then Infamous 2 to Infamous Second Son, you could obviously do good or bad pathing, and they had to specify like, oh, Infamous 2 is if you got the good ending from the first game. And yeah, that's a really good point. If you had this kind of mode, you wouldn't have to specify. You'd just be like, oh, this is taking into account canon mode. This is what happened. And then other decisions are just like, Elseworld sort of, what could have happened. Fuck yeah. More of this.
You've convinced me.
I like it.
Love it.
That's the way.
While we're on Adam having strong reactions to things, Marvel Rivals director has shit-talked Concord. I think he said
I
that
like
it
Marvel
flopped
Rivals.
I know, but this is a dog shit thing to say, and I want to get your take on it.
What did he say? Tell me.
So he basically said that Concord flopped because it didn't offer anything of unique value for players, and I think that is deeply fucking funny coming from the person who's just made Marvel Overwatch, but that's just me.
I would wager that maybe Concord tried to do too many different things in the wrong places. And that's what kind of like the crew. I can't even remember what it was. Like they did a fucking set. They actually do a similar thing here, where different team compositions will net you different bonuses, and depending on the characters you play as in a certain match, you'll get buffs that you'll end up more powerful at the end of the match than you were at the start. I think that's a really cool, decent idea for a mechanic, and it incentivizes flicking through a few different characters instead of just having a main. So I think that's a really reductive comment. And yeah, I think, as you said, coming from NetEase and from a studio that is literally just wholesale, I'll say it, they're very much ripping all of the good aspects out of OG Overwatch and making them Marvel branded. It's a tough pill to swallow for sure. Don't be a dick. Just enjoy that your game's doing well.
Yeah.
Question that's unrelated to this, but I read this as did the Black Myth Wukong guy actually say that he was expecting to win Game of the Year or something like that, or he rocked up for no reason or something?
If only we had a run sheet that would kind of allow us to.
Oh my lord! Why would we talk about this during? I haven't actually scrolled down that part.
Yeah, of course you would.
Well,
scroll down one line.
Well, I'm on the fucking page where it's discussion topics, and then there's a huge ass fucking Anyway,
All right,
carry
all
on,
right,
James.
all right.
Because they're segmented by
dog.
page, like a document would be. Do you
Rubbish.
understand the?
Rubbish.
Okay.
I don't have time
Anyway,
to
you want
scroll.
to introduce this final news story
No.
for us then?
Well, no, I thought this might have come up during the. Anyway.
Well, if I'd wanted it to, I would have put it in that part of the document. So yeah.
Mm.
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 So Black Myth
Myth
worked on.
producer shit talked the Game Awards after they won both Best Action Game and Player's Choice Game, and then were salty that they didn't win the actual Game of the Year award. Part of the acceptance speech was written 2 years ago, apparently, which I personally think is totally fine. I think have confidence in what
Agreed.
you've got, manifest as much as you want, but keep that to yourself. That's a personal thing. You don't need to talk about that shit publicly. So yeah, this entire studio smacks of a very weird culture and a very strange sense of entitlement around the game that they've made, which, by all accounts is either really good or pretty fucking average. So I don't know, messy, weird, don't care for it.
There's one part of this that I would like to call out is that it was a machine translated interview, and
Right.
I think a lot is lost in that.
Totally.
So there's inflections and context around it that we don't have. So the part where he says, "I feel like I came all the way here for nothing," it's hard to know how that was being presented because I don't speak whatever language was being spoken there. I don't speak it. So relying on machine translation and just, one-to-one, this word means that word, isn't always the best way to form an opinion. But that said, yeah, maybe keep the acceptance speech writing to yourself 100%. That's just a bit much.
Don't need to say it out loud,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the news. Big week for video games. You know what else we like? Movies.
What's that? Oh, we
Movies.
do like movies.
Take us back to the 2000s. What have you got?
All right, let's see if you can figure this one out. Gregorio and Ingrid are the two greatest secret agents the world has ever known. Masters of disguise, mavens of invention, able to stop wars before they even start. Working for separate countries, they are sent to eliminate their most dangerous enemy, each other. But in an exotic corner of the world, when they finally come face to face, they fall in love instead.
Is this
Mr.
Oh, wait.
Mrs.
Mr. Smith?
Sure.
and embark on the most dangerous mission they have ever faced, raising a family.
Oh, is it
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids?
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
As
What
soon
a
as I
pick.
saw this was the first one I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that, and then I saw how they formatted the synopsis on IMDb, and I'm like, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
That was
Yeah,
perfect.
It's
Shut up,
a
James.
little bait and switch. Love that.
Very good.
very, very good. Happy
Very
days.
good.
Fuck, I love Spy Kids.
How good.
Oh,
Zach is writhing in anger. Look at him.
Yeah.
You picked a fucking kids movie.
Kids movie. Go
Go
watch
play
my
some Switch.
Just upset because you didn't get to the third one in 3D.
I haven't seen any of them, so
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
well,
speaks volumes
Be
about
sorry
you.
then.
Yeah.
I had a real childhood.
Not Gina Carano. Who's the good Gina? Gina? No, not Torres either.
Gina Gershon.
Is that right?
Don't
Not
know,
real
but
name.
Yeah.
My brain went Gina Reinhardt.
it is Gina, the lady with the lips.
Yeah, nice. That narrows it
Amazing.
down.
Most of them don't. have
Reinhardt?
that.
Yeah, Gina
I
Gershon.
think-
Hey,
Who's
Gina,
Gina
what they're
Gershon?
meant to do.
She's in Face Off. I can tell you that much.
Oh, love
If
Face
you
Off.
if you Google her, you'll know. Anyway,
Yes. What have you been watching this week, Zach? What Apple TV?
ooh, actually, glad you asked. Oh, hello. I watched Subservious.
Maybe
You know what
heard
that
of it.
is? Okay,
Is this
It's
the
an
interesting.
Apple
Megan Fox
TV.
joint?
Yeah, this is the Megan Fox film with Michelle Morone, whatever his name is, old heartthrob from fucking banging 365 days a year, whatever. You know the Netflix Shades of Grey, but it's like basically just softcore porn.
Nymphomaniac? Whatever it's called.
No,
No,
it's called.
the
It's
one-
called.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
one
he's
that you were shame watching over Christmas a couple of years back. I remember this.
sure. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Anna decides that she wants to watch Subservious. So I'm like, "Ah." but there's like good things that we could watch. Nah,
Oh,
You put
watching
us
some
through
service.
Predator.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, this is this is the film where Megan Fox is the nanny robot thing. So it's basically
wish.
this like
Is this like a Megan situation?
I was just about to say this is a
Correct.
different version of Megan that I watched,
Correct.
man.
It
Jesus.
is. So
Sorry,
this
Mithrigan. Sorry.
yeah. So this is
Sorry.
where old mate. In this world, everyone's kind of being replaced by AI robots and that, and then he needs help around the house because his partner has like a heart attack or has like a heart issue, and so he gets this hires this robot which is Megan Fox, and then you know what happens, eh?
And he fucks
So
up.
it become horny.
Mm.
You know,
For fuck's sake, Nathan. Jesus Christ.
so
Yeah, no.
wasn't good.
Great.
It was. I mean, it was. I think it was better than Mithrigan personally,
Oh, careful now.
but still,
That's a bit
it's not a high bar to to get over. So
I loved Mithrigan
I know you
personally.
did.
So
I know you
good.
did.
Yeah, I
I've
dug
put
it.
out the first official image of Mithrigan 2. She's
Is there a
looking
Mithrigan
Let's
2?
go.
very word I don't want to
Hell
censor
yeah.
later. So yeah.
Other than that, more
yes.
Tokyo
I'll say
Vice,
it.
which is really
Don't.
good.
No, he would.
And that's it.
He's got a license.
Very good. Kieran, you can tell me what you've been watching though.
I famously don't watch. No, I've been on a
Yeah.
I've been on a dropout tear lately, so I've been watching
Nice.
Very Important People, which is fucking fantastic. It's just Vic Michaelis doing improv interviews with characters where people have like other comedians on Dropout are just given a prosthetic makeup and costume and told to make a character on the spot, and then they do an interview, and it's very funny. So if you have Dropout, watch Very Important People, and Vic Michaelis is like the funniest person on the earth. So
Yeah, she's great.
Nathan.
Let's
Nathan,
drop out. I can't be the only one here. Zach,
I was
let's
also
drop out.
wondering, but I just
What's
really?
yeah? Is that a service? I was just.
It's a
assumed that-
streaming service.
Never heard of it.
First I've
With
heard.
like largely with like College Humor alumni, like
Sam Reich, Brennan
Sam
Mulligan.
Reich, Brennan Mulligan.
is this
Yeah,
the
all
service
those
with that
blokes.
show where they do like all the like improv sketches and answers?
Correct.
It's like a quiz
Yeah.
show. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And they have like
Yes.
Actually, which is hosted by Ify Nwadwe,
Mm.
Game
which
changers.
is like the nerd trivia show where they actually everything that happens. Yeah,
Mhm. Cool.
yeah, lots of D&D roleplay, like lots of roleplay stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice. Right.
I
Very
learned
good.
something.
Nathan.
Yeah, actually, I've got a cool one to throw in. So this has actually been in my absence a week or two back. An FX series on Disney Plus that's kind of, I think, maybe quietly blowing up on the net called Say Nothing, about the troubles in the north of Ireland during the 70s. So this is based on a true... It's quite compelling. It's based on the true story of, or told by the two women that bombed Parliament in London, members of the West Belfast IRA, and they're basically giving cassette recordings of their sins, so to speak, while serving in the West Belfast IRA as the two first female serving members. And the way it's all dramatised and told out, it's very, very thrilling. And I just didn't know what was going to come next. And the fact that so much of it is so still ongoing, in fact, like some of those storylines bleed into real life very immediately, made the sort of watch very, well, again, immediately compelling. It's one that I probably would recommend as one of the better dramas I've seen this year. And it told me a lot about the IRA that I didn't know, and I found it a very prescient watch in terms of the current conflicts that are occurring, or even genocides, and kind of the parallels of what some of the Irish have had to endure. You could do worse. Say nothing.
Yeah, that sounds like a real thing. like a drama is always more of like an adult thing, you know. Like
Yeah, you hit FX and Disney Plus, and I checked out, and then you started talking about it, and I checked back in. So it was a bit of whiplash.
It's only going to take an episode for you to know whether or not it's for you. So, but it's a hard watch. Like it kind of sat in my gut quite uncomfortably, but I dug it for that.
Nice. Adam, what have you been checking out though?
Fuck all. Nothing on the
See what I
visual
did there?
format. I did say prior to the potty that I've been listening to Jason Schreier's Play Nice book about Blizzard.
Green. Excellent.
Yeah, it's intriguing as all hell. Like, that company has had a very storied history, and it's completely 3 ways from Sunday fucked at the moment. Thanks in large part to old Bobby Kotick, which I think is pretty sure he's a big fan of the podcast, actually, so I shouldn't talk shit.
Loves us.
Bobby
Got
K.
the Spencer listening to it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They sit and listen together and braid each other's hair. Be hard for Bobby. But yeah, like it's been a very enjoyable listen on my afternoon walks. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Who reads it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I have no
Greg
idea.
Miller?
Not the big J man himself.
Greg Miller. No. No. It is. How do I don't know how I find out who it's read by.
I don't know. It's Spotify's stuff.
This. I'm very new to the whole audiobook scene. This is
Doesn't
the
it
first
normally
audiobook
say?
I've actually listened to.
Is it Microsoft?
I don't know. I
Sam?
use Audible, and Audible always puts the name just sort of
Maybe
front and
it's-
center. But I've
does,
never used
yeah.
Spotify for it.
It said like right at the start, but I'm now like
it
6 hours in
AI?
or whatever.
So nice, narrator.
No, it's not. It's definitely not AI. 100% not
It's
AI.
just a Spotify DJ.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey guys, what's up? God, that thing is a nightmare.
got
It
Bobby
is
Kotick
read,
here.
but shut up. Narrated by Ray Chase.
yes,
the fuck?
that name rings a bell.
Can you what else has he done?
Let me
audiobooks.
check for you. Yeah, I'm
This
clicking on
is
his
a
name
wild
now.
thing to like.
A bit of Dean
IMDb.
Koontz, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. So that was the
Ooh,
other
oh, there you
Jason
go.
Schreier book, obviously. An Edgar Allan Poe collection, Marvel Phase
Okay.
1 box set. Mate,
Hmm.
he's
Who's
all
got
over
the
the
type?
place.
A
He
legend.
certainly does. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Is he
Um,
is he American, British? Like what's kind of like what are we going for here?
American,
All right. Okay.
American for sure. Yeah,
Tolerable?
but he's tolerable. He's not like
Wow.
That's. I didn't dig it to begin with and thought I was going to fall off, but he's fine. He's getting the job done.
Because I feel like an audiobook reader is you got to be the right. You know,
Absolutely.
mhm.
I couldn't do it.
No.
I'll be Ray Chase.
I guess I've got a quick thought on this. So I'm listening to the Wheel of Time book 4, and it's actually being narrated by Rosamund Pike, who's obviously an actress on the
Oh.
series. And it's very interesting because she's trying to do there's a significant cast that she has to try and impersonate. And lately I've been trying to do voiceovers for not D&D, but like board games that have a lot of text, and really struggling. So I've got an all new admiration for folks that can try and have a stab at voice acting who may not typically do that. It's tough shit.
Hmm.
So, yeah, respect your audiobook readers.
Yeah. They have a hard job. They do actually have a hard job. I'm not being
I think they might
a word
do.
I don't want to edit out. I watched
Aaron will say it.
No, he won't. I watched a handful of movies. French Dispatch, thought was exceptional. Loved it. No note.
Really?
He loves that movie.
Wow, I don't get it.
Very good.
I must be
Oh,
the
okay.
outlier.
Right. Yeah. I went to a preview screening of Anora, and I thought that was a
Ooh.
very wild watch in ways I wasn't expecting.
What's this
I would
film?
recommend it. Sorry,
Okay.
What's it called? Anora.
Anora.
I'm getting non-stop advertising for this on my social medias. Like,
Okay.
just constantly.
It's about
in my face.
a sex worker who gets married to a like Russian millionaire, basically, but he's like 21, and sort of the hijinks that ensue. It is a very odd film, but I had a really good time with it. Drive My Car is maybe one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, but I know
Okay.
about it. This is the
Yeah.
Japanese one from like 2 years back.
Yeah, 2021, I think, or something like that. But
Okay.
yeah, like I would recommend it to anybody. A marvel of a film. Absolutely adored
I
it.
need to know more.
Yes, you should Google it. Drive my car.
I am.
Get in there, but don't read too much. Just watch the movie. You know.
I'm happy with
Okay.
that. Yeah, cool. All right. I'm encouraged by that.
Yeah, and I also finished the Farseer trilogy. So I've done the last book. Thank you. That last one was a big one. Excellent, great books. Cannot wait to read the other 15 or whatever in the series. Yeah.
What's next in the diet?
I'm taking a short break to do Absolution, which is the surprise fourth book in the Southern Reach trilogy. And then once I'm done with that, I might smash out just like a short story, and then I'll go back to the Live Ship Trader trilogy or whatever it's called. So
Yeah, Absolution's really really encouraging me to try and get a library membership. So keen on that.
Definitely.
Hmm.
If you listening at home want to read some stuff, though, I would highly recommend heading over to well-played.com.au, the old website where we post our stray thoughts and feelings on whatever we decide to do on any given week. You can also watch our YouTube content over at wellplayed_au. We are on Twitter, wellplayed_au, and Blue Sky at wellplayed. Thanks for joining us for another week of juicy gaming news and reviews and all that junk.
Got a good squeeze this week.
Sorry?
Got a good squeeze this week.
Did-
What's your
yeah.
favorite juice? Out of interest.
Didn't we do this? Like
Probably. I think
couple
we
weeks
have.
ago.
I think maybe 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It was super recently. It was,
was,
really
yeah.
recent if I'm remembering it.
I do remember now. Now that I've asked that, those words have come out of my lips. I do remember asking this question.
Yeah.
I reckon it was
oranges.
early in the year.
Goodbye,
I think
everyone.
we universally landed on pineapple, didn't we, lads?
I think we may have landed on pineapple. Pineapple's fucking
Cranberry.
great.
Cranberry.
Cranberry's not a... You know what? No. Go
Eat-
listen to the episode from
eat
a few
my
weeks ago to
cranberry.
relitigate this. Goodbye,
Bye.
everybody.